to the side, her eyes wide. At last the two farmers stuck their hands into the pockets of their grimy denims. Both shrugged. "Right," I said, blowing my bangs out of my eyes and straightening my cardigan. "Now, we'll have no more of this. You two behave, or you'll find yourselves peddling your spears at the side of the road in Shimpling." "Gosh, Julia, that was truly amazing. You're incredibly brave, and you have such a really, really bold spirit," Willow said, as we stacked up chairs and cleared off the tea table. "Ooh, look, 2 fairy cakes left." For just a moment we considered those little squares of sponge cake coated in pink-tinted fondant, the last survivors on a platter of crumbs. "Well, can't let those go to waste now, can we? What would Nuala say?" Nuala ran the tea room in the village and supplied cakes, tarts and scones for our every need. I counted myself as one of her most enthusiastic supporters. The final fairy cakes dispatched, we washed out the tea urn and swept up. "There now," Willow said, as we took a last look at the church hall and she adjusted the knitted beret that sat atop her brown curls. "All put to rights. Well, Julia, as I won't see you before you get off, you have a lovely weekend." I certainly intended to. And you, Willow, thanks for helping out this evening. I walked down Church Lane, past the Stoat and Hare pub. Not only a pub, but hotel as well, with 10 lovely rooms available upstairs, a fact I always pointed out to visitors, and continued down the high street to my Pipit cottage. A warm glow emanated from the front window. I unlocked the door and stepped in, pausing for a moment to take a deep, cleansing breath. Home. I hung my coat on a peg, switched off the tiny lamp on the mantel, and climbed the steep stairs to the landing. I stopped in the bedroom doorway. Michael, sound asleep on his stomach with arms flung out, had left the bedside lamp on for me. I watched him for a moment, listening to his heavy breathing. His black hair, always a bit shaggy, didn't quite cover that tiny white scar high on his cheek. Even in sleep, one side of his mouth tugged up into that lopsided smile. I smiled back. As quiet as a mouse, I undressed and slipped into bed beside him. When I turned to switch off the light, I saw he'd left the printed confirmation from the Ship pub in Dunwich. Marsh View room for 2 booked for Michael Sedgwick, starting tomorrow evening, Friday. I sighed. This had been our goal for weeks now, a weekend away on the coast, apart from our hectic work schedules. Time together. No wonder he was already asleep. He'd be up at 4 the next morning, as he had been every morning that week. Michael held my former post of personal assistant to celebrity ornithologist Rupert Lanchester, my father. This meant Michael not only organised Dad's appearance schedule, but also produced his BBC Two television programme, A Bird in the Hand. In case he didn't have enough to do, Michael had created the Rupert Lanchester Foundation, which would award grants to worthy groups, institutes and schools to further nature studies. The first grant was to be awarded soon. To say he was busy didn't cover it by half. And just as Michael had been up before dawn every morning, I'd been in late every evening with meetings about the market, the walking festival, Smeaton's summer supper. But when I locked the door of the Tourist Information Centre tomorrow at 5 o'clock, no more of that. I'd get in my little Fiat and head for the coast. We'd meet up and not look back, at least until Monday. A heavy mist threatened to soak me through the minute I closed the door of my cottage the next morning, but I set my mind to better thoughts. Get through this last work-day before the weekend. I clamped half a slice of toast in my mouth as I zipped my mackintosh, pulled the hood up, and hitched my weekend bag higher on my shoulder. A blob of marmalade slid off the corner of the toast and plopped onto my chest. But before I had a chance to nab it, the rain had washed it off, and the marmalade landed on the toe of one of my shoes. Welcome to Friday. A loud caw, caw from across the deserted high street made me look up. A rook sat perched atop a chimney pot. The bird spread his wings, glided to the roof's edge, and turned his head to peer down at me, in the process showing off his white chin and long, pale grey beak. A sage